The 10 hardest things about moving to Thailand for me. Everyone's different, but here are mine. Let's go. So you come here on your 2-week holiday, you're in the hotels, you're in the resorts, you're at the breakfast buffet, you're eating in tourist areas, you're eating what you think are local markets, but they're tourist markets. You know, everything you're eating is geared towards the tourist or the Western palate, you know, and you think, Thai food's great, how good's Thai food? Then you move here. You can't afford to be eating at breakfast buffets or Western restaurants 3 meals a day. It just doesn't work like that, you know? So we are trying to eat locally as much as we possibly can. That's taking some time. And then finally I move here. I've been here, I had been here about 3 weeks, and then it happened. I got food poisoning, you know? Ate some street food, some market food here in the village. Yeah, that was a rough week, let me tell you. I do not want to experience that again. So there is a massive difference between food you're eating while on your 2-week holiday, spending up and living like a king, to the food you're going to eat when you move here, if you move out to the village, because you simply can't afford to be eating like that for 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. It just doesn't work like that. You know, if you I'm here eating my, talking about food, here eating my New York cheesecake with my frappe from my favourite coffee shop, Hue and Paul, out here at Doi Saket in Chiang Mai. If you're one of those guys coming here and planning to live off $1,000 a month, I know the food you're going to be eating, and you're going to struggle. I'm telling you right now, you're going to struggle. $1,000 a month, you are eating market food every night, every day. That's all you're eating. You know, once you take your rent out, your motorbike, your fuel, your phone, your internet, your water, your electricity, your visa costs, yeah. Be ready for that transition to market food. Real market food, not tourist market food, real market food. And you might say, well, I can do that. I can eat Thai food 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. I can eat from the market every night, every day. I thought that too. But the hardest part was, I guess, selling or getting rid of every single thing you owned. Our plan was to not bring anything to Australia that could not be taken on the plane. I'll put up a picture of us at the airport. Anything outside of that we weren't taking. So that did not happen overnight. That literally took weeks, maybe a month. We would start by moving things in our house, going, "Hey, these are the things we're definitely not taking," you know. Then you start selling everything. You have people coming through your house, buying all your gear, selling your life away. So once all the big stuff goes, the obvious stuff that's not going, and once all that goes, you're left with a lot of personal stuff. But again, it had to fit in what we could carry on the airplane. And that took a month. Once you achieve that, it was interesting walking out of our house, closing that door behind you, and knowing that at that moment, you're homeless in your home country. No home. We did not own a single thing. Obviously, sold 2 cars as well. Did not own a single thing apart from what was in those couple of suitcases there in front of us. So, you know, I'm 50, so 50 years of accumulating memories has to go. But the hardest part, though I wasn't, well, look, I knew it would be difficult. I didn't think it would be so hard, was saying goodbye. I wasn't expecting the emotional strain. I thought it would be easy because we had no family there. I didn't understand the number of people that had become family in the 15 years that we were there. So that was extremely difficult. But yeah, wrapping up our life, saying goodbye, 50 years ends up in a suitcase. So Fon has grown up in Bangkok, concrete jungle, and then moved from Bangkok 16 years ago to Perth, Australia, and where we lived in a city apartment style house. So again, concrete jungle. Neither of us accustomed to the goings on of the wet season and the wildlife that brings. Combine that with the block next door to us has just been cleared. The 3 blocks across the road from us have been cleared and now being built on. The one next to us was cleared and is just finished being built. So all the blocks around here that were jungle have all been cleared. A lot of that wildlife has migrated onto our property. Well, I think we've had 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 snakes. We've had 1 scorpion in the yard, one of those big black ones, and 1 scorpion in the house, one of those little skin-coloured ones. And from what I understand, they're the nasty ones, the little skin-coloured ones. I could be wrong. Someone asked me the other day, were the other snakes venomous? Dude, it's a snake. I don't care. It's a snake, you know. So for Fawn, she's really struggled, and I've mentioned this on a previous video. But moving here straight into the wet season and dealing with that is not something we thought of when moving to sort of northern regional Thailand here. We have to get used to it. It's part of the process. If you're not into creepy crawlies, and if you're not into all the insects and the bugs, and there's a lot of insects. Insects don't bother us, not at all. Nothing really bothers us apart from bastard snakes and scorpions. No doubt if you're moving to Isan, you're going to face the same issues, maybe more. As long as one of those big bastard cobras don't wander in the yard. The neighbour was saying when they cleared that block next door, there's a neighbour on the other side of the block, cobra wandered into their yard. It was after his chickens. Look, I'm all about live, let live, but if a cobra wanders into our yard, it is going to cobra heaven, let me tell you. You know, again, just like with food, I've been coming here for 20 plus years, stay in hotels, you know, you get picked up from the airport by a driver, or you get a taxi from the airport, you get taxis or drivers just about to most places, or you know, if you're in Bangkok, you're on the Sky Train and so forth. Life's pretty easy. Maybe if you're in one of the beach coastal areas, you might hire yourself one of these guys, a motorbike, but then suddenly you're living here. Mistake number 1 was coming here or moving here in wet season. I think I've shown on a previous video where we went out on the motorbike 3 times on a road to clear skies. By the time we returned home, 3 times in a row, we were completely soaked. So that obviously then led us to getting a car. And as well, living 20-25 minutes out of the city, taking the motorbike into the city on that main motorway is an absolute daunting experience at the very best of times. You take your life into your hands doing that. That's some scary stuff. But driving here in Thailand on a daily basis is something that takes some real getting used to. You are constantly checking everything. One of my biggest fears is hitting a motorbike. Turning left is always an issue. You've got to slow down and check your left mirror, check your blind spot. There's always a motorbike there. They don't see your indicators. Look, indicators are here purely for fun, I think. I'll never forget a story. Fawn and I had not been together for long. And maybe a year or 2, and we were driving from memory in her car from Bangkok to, geez, I forget the name of the place. It was a couple of hours away. Anyway, on the way home, we're on, I think, what was a 4-lane highway going one way and a 4-lane highway going the other way. She missed the turn off. No problem, I said, just take the next turn off, we'll wrap back around. Oh, no. puts on the hazard lights, or as she likes to call, the go anywhere lights. So puts on the go anywhere lights, stops, backs up, reverses up on this 4-lane highway, back up to the exit, takes the exit. I literally shut my eyes and almost curled up into the fetal position, you know. So yeah, look, driving has taken some time to get used to. You've just got to have your wits about you constantly, and you can't assume, is what I've worked out, you can't assume the person or the people around you know what the hell they're doing. You've got to assume everyone around you is a raving lunatic on the road and assume the worst. That's pretty much what I do. But helmets, well, recently a law was passed, from what I understand, is where helmets are now mandatory. Man, I'm not seeing that as yet. Look, certainly on the highway, I think there's more people wearing helmets at the moment, sure. In the villages, not at all. Hence, you can see me, I'm not wearing got my safety hat on, right? But I'm watching people buzz past me. There's a mum and a young daughter on the bike. There's no helmet there. So we'll just head on over to the 7-Eleven. I'll head in for I think a Magnum. I think I'm gonna go a Magnum. I'll be back shortly. Magnum secured. I mean, just yesterday. Parked the car, needed to have a look at, chasing some pavers. Found a shop that sold some pavers. Parked the car. And I'm walking probably 20 meters back to this shop. Bang! Car accident right there in front of me. Witnessed it. Saw the whole thing. Anyway, go inside, have a look at the pavers. They don't have what I need. Get in the car, drive off. 100 meters down the road. Bang! Another accident. Nose to tail. You've got to be so careful here. I don't like to guess, but I'm sure I've seen somewhere that Thailand is in like the top 3 for countries in the world for accidents. I'll find the stats, I'll put them up on the screen. So look, very different going from your holiday where you're in taxis and sky trains and you've got personal drivers, to you own a motorbike, you own a car, you are on the roads every day. Got to be so careful. Get insurance. Make sure you've got car insurance, that's for sure. It's something that I think probably creeps up on you here. I think you could come here with all the right intentions, and then realize after a while how lonely you are and how alone you can be at times here. Because when you come here on your holiday, there's something to do every day. You know, there's temples to visit, there's markets, there's boat trips, there's snorkeling, there's restaurants, there's nightlife. You know, you name it, your days are full. And so you think, I could live here. This place is amazing. No, this is a tourist area with resorts. Out here in real Thailand, it's not quite like that. We're 20-25 minutes north of the city. There are no tourists here. There's a couple of foreigners that you see around, rarely, which I'm fine with, but this is very, very different to sitting by sitting by the resort pool in your sun lounger, having a bloke bring you pina coladas. I think that's where people maybe get it wrong sometimes. They fall in love with the tourist side of Thailand, which is amazing, and figure that that's what daily life would be. Not even close, not even on the same planet. I mean, we've been here just over a month. Every day that month has been Fawn and I. She's obviously trying to help me settle as best she can. But this week, she started her new job. The woman's so talented, you know. She sent one resume, got a call, come in for an interview, interviewed, you're too experienced for this job, come meet the owner of the company, interview for a more senior job, yeah, we want you, start next week. That's how good she is. So anyway, she's working. So I'm even more alone. I'm literally left to my own devices. Now, if I came here as a younger man, as a much younger and single man, I've no doubt I'd be spending every night in the bars. I'd be blowing all my cash. I'd be living like a king. And before I knew it, I'd be broke and having to go back to Australia with nothing to show for my time. Thankfully, I'm a much older, married man. I'm not interested in that side of Thailand, but it would be very easy as a single person to fall into that trap because of loneliness. I mean, you know, you add in the language barrier. Once you add in the language barrier, the loneliness really kicks in. You can't have an in-depth conversation with 99% of the population here like you would back home. It's very difficult. So you go searching for ways to break that loneliness other ways. An area that some people fall into is drinking. It'd be very easy, 11:30 a.m. every day to crack the first one. Before you know it, every day you're putting away 7 or 8 beers and it becomes the norm. All because of that loneliness. Yeah, you've got to have that interest. You've got to have some motivation to get off your butt and do something other than drink and smoke and hit the bars. And you've got to be able to create, even if it's small, a circle of friends. So hopefully once I get back into my sport and I'm here for a bit longer, you know, those things will start to happen. But if you don't put some energy and some focus into those things, loneliness will creep up on you and bite you in the ass very quickly. I picked this road here to do this vlog for one simple reason. It's a long, lonely road. Doesn't get a lot of traffic. Right now, my only friend is this guy. And why is he walking towards me and my motorbike? I don't know. He has got a rope. That's as far as he can go. I mean, he might be looking for the shade. So right now, this is my only friend here today. The only person for me to talk to. And it can be like that here in Thailand. So the weather. The weather's something that could well and truly define whether you stay here or not. But right now, this time of year is stunning. We're at the tail end of the wet season, and you go, what are people worried about when it comes to weather if this is what Thailand's like? Well, here's the thing. It's not like this. This is a very rare, short period of time where the weather is stunning, and in the blink of an eye, it can turn truly horrific. When I say truly horrific, I mean hot as balls. The humidity is soul-sucking. The constant heat will leave you in a state of despair at some days. It really is that difficult. If you're coming from cooler climates like in Europe and North America and so forth, it's something that needs to be taken into account. Because even myself, coming from a hot climate, coming from Australia, it is difficult. It is difficult. But look, we've got a fully air-conditioned house, we've got a pool, you know, we put insulation in the ceiling. We're planting as many trees as we possibly can at the moment, so they grow into shade cover for the property. So yeah, look, fingers crossed. But again, it's a serious aspect of moving to Thailand that you need to consider is the weather. And of course, right now, not only is it warm, but it's the wet season. How's my little friend back there doing? There is he. There he is. Just hanging out. Just hanging out. Stay calm, bro. Stay calm. I'm talking about the dog, not me. Generally, getting things done generally on a day-to-day basis when you don't speak the language, I've found really difficult. Look, here are some basic examples. It might be you go into a store and you ask the person, oh, do you have this thing? They go, no, have. And that's the end of it. Will recommend me something else, you know, on sell. It mustn't be taught here. It's simply no have, and that's the end of it. I would have thought you go, look, we don't have that, but this thing over here is pretty similar. You should have a look at that. Oh, cool, I'd probably buy that thing, but that doesn't happen. The other one I like is when you go up to them, to a clerk, and you say, oh, this thing here, does it do this? They go, don't know. Find someone who knows, you know. It's hilarious. It's simply a flat don't know. Oh, the other one, oh look, does it do this? And I've read the box, but it doesn't say in the box. So what does he do? Picks it up, reads the box. Mate, I can read the box, but I'm asking you because you work here, because the expectation is that you know about the stuff that you're selling. And that's just a couple of really, really basic examples. We have been trying to get some stuff done around the house, and we need some contractors in to do some bits and pieces, some specialist guys, you know what I mean? I could probably do most of it myself, but I'd cock it up. So hey, for a small price, let's get guys in and get this work done. You can't get anyone on the phone. So I say to the wife, look, we need what's some things? We need some fly screens, some screens on the windows. We didn't get screens when we got it built. Rookie error. So some screens. Okay, no worries. Yeah, I don't know. Hang on a second. Let me turn this camera around. Yeah. Might just go away from that soy dog. I don't know that dog. So let's not test it. So yeah, still on. So I say to the wife, call this company, get them to come out, give us a quote. No answer. She would call multiple companies. It doesn't matter what trade, it doesn't matter what type of business. They don't answer the phone. It blows me away. I say to the wife, how do they make money? She goes, I don't know, they just don't do anything. I just don't know how they make money. It baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. And the other frustration is, not if you do get them on the phone, they don't want to talk to you on the phone. So she would eventually get these guys on the phone, and they would say to her, send us a message online. But no, I've got you on the phone now. Just answer the question. I've just got this one question. You know, does this thing do this? Send us a message online. So, yeah, that's very weird. You'd be lucky if a company has a website. They may have a Facebook page, maybe. So it's difficult finding actual contractors and people and products that you need to buy and so forth. But because there's not a lot of presence on the internet, they're really hard to find, really difficult to find. So you spend a lot of time trolling the internet, trying to find stuff, but you're wasting your time. So yeah, getting stuff done, you need to be patient. You need to understand this is not the West, this is not Australia, this is Thailand. Things happen differently. And it used to get me really angry, really annoyed, and I've just learnt, go with the flow. Go with the flow. Take a breath, give them specific and clear instructions and details on what you want, all right, and monitor the entire process. Yeah, well, I've got my friends trying to get these guys to get used to me. They live next door to me. Well, they live in the soy next door to me, I should say. See how we're going here. Yeah, I've worked out that if you just sort of walk on through like you own the place, they generally just go, blah, whatever, you know? So it seems to be working for me. I might bring them some treats next time. If I can make these dogs my friends, I wonder if that's a good thing. You know, what do you reckon? Should I make them my friends, or should I just flatly ignore them and stay away? So far, that was pretty good.